What's going on, conquistadors? It is Scotty the Chunky Spaniard, and welcome back to Round Like Me, where we talk about a lot of well-rounded things in this world. And today, it is Tuesday, which means it is time for a Tunes on a Tuesday. I think I just spit a little when I said that. So excited, I guess. So excited, I'm spitting. Spitting excited. I think you're spitting mad, actually. But, oh man. It is the end of November, my friends. This is it. It's about time for Target to start getting their Valentine's Day stock out and start preparing for that holiday. I mean, they'll probably give it a couple more days, and then Valentine's will be on the list of setup in the back of Target where they do all their seasonal items. But we're not here to talk about Target. We're not even here to talk about Black Friday. We are here to talk about the final album. Hopefully not the final album, but the last album of No Doubt November. It has been an amazing November. It truly has. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving, if that's something you celebrate. Hope that you've gotten to spend some time with family and some friends. But man, this has been a fantastic journey. Like, it really has been a blast to go back and really give No Doubt a good listen. One of my favorite bands ever, and I don't know, it's given me a new appreciation. So I thank you guys, those of you that watch this. I'm very passionate about music, obviously, but this whole Tunes on a Tuesday and really the idea of No Doubt November, I was just kind of thinking of alliteration, honestly, when I was doing it to start off, and it's turned into this, I don't know, this newfound love of certain tunes, albums, and things that I've always grown to love, but now realize it more in my advanced age of why No Doubt is one of my favorite bands. And so the final album of No Doubt November, this album came out in 2012. It was called Push and Shove. Now the cool thing about Push and Shove, I don't have the CD. At this point, I very rarely buy CDs. I always get the Vans Warped Tour compilation every year just to see if there's new bands that I might dig. But which sadly, this is gonna be the last year because this is the final year of Vans Warped Tour. That stinks too. But No Doubt, Push and Shove. This is the cool album cover. I mean, you got to check it out. The artwork is really sick, and this album does not disappoint. This album, gosh, it's so funny how we get into these ruts, and we have that favorite album from our favorite bands, and there, you know, I mention a name of a band, and you go, oh, instantly that album. If I were to say Metallica, a lot of people would be like, Master of Puppets. Depending on your age group, some people would say Black Album. If I were to say even like, let's go pop and say Matchbox 20, oh, dude. Yourself or Someone Like You. That was the one. That was the one that broke them, that started it all. I don't know. I mean, like, you think of your favorite band, and what is that album that you instantly go back to every single time? For me, with No Doubt, it was Tragic Kingdom. But now that has changed slightly. Tragic Kingdom, still my favorite No Doubt album ever. But coming in second is Push and Shove. I can't believe it. And I'm gonna tell you why. And Settle Down is the first track off of Push and Shove, and it's a good track. It's funny because Rocksteady came out in 2001, Push and Shove came out in 2012, that's a big gap. But Settle Down actually kind of bridged that gap. It was interesting. It's got the feeling of Rocksteady. So like Gwen even uses the lyrics, hella positive, I'm feeling hella positive for real, which then you're like, okay, that ties in with got me feeling hella good from Rocksteady. It's got this cool reggae like samba beat to it, and it's just a good track, and it really does tie in. Okay, we left off with this, and now we're heading into this. And that's something No Doubt has always done a very good job of doing. When in the creative process, they haven't ever just gone off the rails and said, screw our old sound, we're gonna do something completely different. So That's the first track, Settle Down. I got lots of notes on this, so I may be looking down every once in a while to see my notes, but I wrote a lot, as you can see. The next song, Looking Hot, it kind of goes back to that making out song. I have trouble with the lyrics and just the title. I don't know. It's a good tune. I just don't like that. I don't know. It makes me feel kind of like creepy. But it's super dancey track and has a really cool like reggae breakdown. Track 3, One More Summer. This one's very interesting because with One More Summer, it's not like a really one of those songs for me, it's not one of those songs I gravitate towards. But now knowing this is kind of like in the future looking back, listen to Tom's guitar tone on this track, on track 3. And you start hearing his tone and the vibe of the song and you're like, oh my gosh, that's like Dream Car. That's the beginning of the amazingness that is Dream Car. And Dream Car is still my most requested album when we drive in my wife's car. The kids are like, can we listen to Dream Car, Dad? They love Dream Car, which gives you the warm feels inside because you're like, oh, they love something that I love so much and a band that I've loved for so long with AFI and No Doubt. And so it's really cool little, connection that we have. But that's pretty much it for that song. Push and Shove is the next track, which sounds a lot like Gwen's stuff, her solo stuff. So you can see that they're blending these worlds. They start off with Settle Down. It's kind of, a little leftover from, and I don't want to say leftovers because that sounds gross and doesn't give them the respect that they deserve. But it's kind of a track that kind of eases you in. It dovetails from Rocksteady into Push and Shove. Then they go dancey. There's a lot of reggae vibe in here in a lot of these songs and disco type grooves. Then all of a sudden there's that hints of 80s guitar tone from Tom and you're like, ho ho ho, I'm sensing some Dream Car now. And then let's give a little nod to Gwen and her solo career. And that's what Push and Shove sounds like. The vibe of it sounds like it'd be an animated movie, especially when, I don't know who's rapping on that album, but it sounds like but every time I hear the rap in this song, it makes me think of the King Lemur on Madagascar and his I Like to Move It song. Listen to the track, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's why I can't take this track seriously, because I always think of a kid's movie. But there is one thing I do appreciate. I appreciate the horns in this tune. They're very subtle, and the trombone. You'll hear the little like runs of the trombone. Super cool. Super cool. Okay, now we get into the meat and potatoes of this album. The beginning of this album felt like they were trying to throw a lot of different ideas and a lot of different nods to different things that the band was into. And then they're like, and here is what the direction of this album is. We're gonna do some, rock steady. We're gonna throw a little bit of Gwen's career in there, solo career. We're gonna throw little hints of our 80s Dream Car dreams, future, which Dream Car wasn't a thing, obviously. But then we get to this track, and it's called Easy. And it's one that I used to skip over because the intro is kind of, it takes a little while to get into the main part of the song. And doing research for this video, I was like, I gotta listen to every track. Gotta listen to it and really, really take it in. Oh my gosh. I have like this new favorite No Doubt tune, and it's this song, Easy. If you don't listen to any other track off of Push and Shove, check out Easy. And let me preface this by saying I do love good pop music. I appreciate people that think outside the box and do different things. And I've got Liquid Tension Experiment and a couple in my CD collection. I got their 2 albums. Some of the guys from Dream Theater and other stuff. And I do love experimental music, but man, there's something about just a well-written pop tune, and that's what this is. It's the first time that I can think of that No Doubt just does a straight-ahead pop tune, and it just blew my mind. I was like, oh, everything sounds so good. For me, this is as poppy as No Doubt has ever gotten on this track. It starts with some 80s guitar and some synth. There's a delay on Gwen's voice, which is really cool. And the tone of the song is kind of minor. It's kind of melancholy, kind of down. And then all of a sudden, when it opens up, you expect it to keep going down this. Having listened to No Doubt for so long, you expect it to go this certain way. And all of a sudden, it opens up, and it's this major, and not major like amazing, huge. It's major like the chord structure. It's major. And it's this major chorus that you're just like, oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh, and then towards the end of the song, there's someone singing background vocals, a male vocalist singing background vocals. It just melts my pop-filled heart. I'm like, oh dude, it's so good. So good. This is, when I do hear this song, I was listening back to it, I'm like, what does this remind me of? It reminds me of, like, if you were at a concert, like Irvine Meadows. Irvine Meadows isn't there anymore. R.I.P. Irvine Meadows. Loved you. But outdoor amphitheater, and this is the kind of track where like a dude would be swaying with his girl, like, baby, I love you so much. Girl, yeah, this is our song. This is our song now. I love you. Love you so much. Oh, this is so good. I'm gonna remember this night forever. It's that kind of a song. But oh my gosh, dude. The thing about this tune is it's not a straight ahead pop song. There's so many layers to this song. It's not even the 7-layer bean dip, which is delicious. This song has so many more layers. You've really got to put in the headphones and listen to every little thing, because then it even has like a little reggae bridge in it, and then it goes back into the chorus, and that's when it leads to the backing vocals, and oh my gosh, Easy. If I could suggest one song, it's Easy off of Push and Shove. So good. Which then leads me to my other favorite song. It's like back to back, man. This album just came out of left field for me this week. And I just, I can't tell you. If you understand music, and you not understand music, but if you love music, you know those things that just like move you. And this album has moved me. I wish I could talk to someone from No Doubt and just be like, thank you. Thank you for making this album, because you bridged, like, I've been using Bridging the Gap a lot in this video. There's so many little pieces of every single thing in No Doubt's collection in this album that it's this perfect melding and meshing, and I don't even know if I'm using these words right, but it's this like complete cohesive album of No Doubt goodness. And I wish I could tell one of them, or all of them, hey, y'all want to go to coffee? We can do that. Grab some lunch. I don't know what you guys are into. Go to Panera, get some. If you like soup, that's cool. I'm not a big fan of soup, but I'll get a sandwich, and we can hang out and talk about your discography and how much I love you guys and how important you were to me. And I'm actually getting a little teary-eyed. I'm trying not to, but that's how much I really do love this band. And but oh my gosh, this next track starts off like Hey Baby. It's got that, I don't know what effect that is, but it starts off and you're like, oh, a little rock steady, little hey baby, hey baby, hey. But it's not. It's not. The track is called Gravity. Second favorite track off this album now. It used to be my number one, and then I listened to Easy, and now it's all over. Okay, Easy. Easy, number one track. Then Gravity. And in my notes I said, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by the intro of Hey Baby. It's just an upbeat, great tune. If you're needing something upbeat, you know, you're tired of Walking on Sunshine, because that's your go-to, like, hey, this is your track, Gravity. It's got those signature Gwen vocal lines. I'm just gonna read, because I think my notes are better than me thinking of it off the top of my head. Signature Gwen vocal lines, Tony has drive and bass on this thing, and Adrian's drums are so clean on this song. And it's got serious 80s vibes. And it's kind of one of those things, if you ever watch the movie Eddie and the Cruisers, it's from Eddie and the Cruisers 2. When he's talking about letting the music breathe and you should give it some time to rest and breathe and give those breaks. This song does that. It's not overplayed. There's not a ton of like noodling. It's just simple as better. And it's just a really solid tune. And then it even has this like, listen for the piano and tell me if it reminds you of the New Radicals. Oh, I know, going way back, right? Get what you give or give what you get, or what is that song from the New Radicals? You know what I'm talking about, guy with the bucket hat in the mall and the sweatsuit. Yeah, gosh, the piano reminded me of the New Radicals so much, I wrote it down. But, whew, Gravity, oh man, I'm exhausted just from talking about Easy and Gravity. Such good songs. But Push and Shove, you need this album. You really need this album. If you liked Tragic Kingdom, you liked No Doubt's earlier stuff, even Return the Saturn, you know, Rocksteady, maybe you were digging those singles. This is kind of, this album brings all of it together. It's like No Doubt Casserole. Okay, they took bits and pieces of everything and threw it all together. Put in some eggs, some cheese, and you got No Doubt Casserole. And Tony wouldn't like that, because he's like super strict vegan. Sorry, Tony. But that's what it made me think of. I apologize, man. But, oh my gosh. So, closing out No Doubt November, I'm really sad. But they don't have any other albums to talk about. I could go into like their live stuff and CDs and box sets and that kind of thing, but man, this is the end of No Doubt November. It's not the end of No Doubt, I hope. I hope that they continue to branch out and do their thing and then come back together and create amazing albums like this. Push and Shove. Have I said it enough so that you'll go get it? You need to go get Push and Shove. So good. If nothing else, get Easy and Gravity and buy the whole album so you can listen to these other tracks. Don't just go buy the singles. Forget the singles, okay? Screw that. Buy the entire album. But I'm gonna finish with why. Why did I love No Doubt so much? Why do I love No Doubt so much? You had one of the most dynamic front women a band has had in decades. Gwen has a tone, a vibe, a style all her own. That's one of the first things that stood out to me. You had a guy like Adrian who joined the band and said that he knew how to play drums and didn't even know how to play the drums. He lied to them when he joined the band and had to practice his butt off. And now I have magazines where he's featured on the cover of Modern Drummer. I have a signature snare. I have his gig bag for my sticks. Like and the energy that he plays with. Tom is such like this chill, just like cool guy on guitar, but can shred when he needs to. But he's also that reserved guy that's like, I don't need to shred. And Tony is the funk master. He's just this groove master that just, the energy that they all project on stage, I think is what's so attractive. And then on top of it, they write amazing music. And then you throw in the guys on the horns and the keys, and I mean, it's just such a diverse group as far as the group is concerned, personality-wise and people-wise, and they're just, they brought this, there was unity within their diversity. Does that make sense? And I think that that's one of the things that I loved most about them. Again, they hit me in the heart right when I was in college, right when I was back in Orange County before they blew up. So there's that connection as well to my homeland, okay, which I consider my homeland. My actual family's homeland is Malaga, Spain. That's where the Larios last name is from. But man, amazing stuff. It's been a fun ride. Thank you, No Doubt. Thank you for your music. Thank you for being so inspiring and so entertaining, so much fun, and putting out music that we're still enjoying. I mean, this album came out in 2012 and now it's on repeat in my truck nonstop because it's just so good. Oh, I'm concerned about like future Tunes on a Tuesdays right now because I know I have the passion, but man, I poured my heart into this one, into this series, and it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. So thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back. I hope you enjoyed this No Doubt November as much as I did. That maybe it's opened your eyes to some new music. Maybe it's made you explore. A good thing to hit on iTunes if you are buying your music from iTunes is hit related when you're looking up an album, and it's going to show what other people bought and other albums, and just go give certain people a listen. I'll try and keep on pointing you in the direction of some good new music and some bands maybe you haven't heard of. That's my plan for the future, is to really focus on people that maybe you haven't heard of, and maybe you have, but people that I feel are kind of flying under the radar and need more exposure. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for always coming back. I appreciate you guys so much. Keep those comments coming in, and that's gonna be it. No Doubt November, that's a wrap. So remember, conquistadors, remember to be a better, remember? No, it doesn't make sense. Remember, conquistadors, be a better person tomorrow than you were today, because there is always room for improvement. And I'll see you next time on Round Like Me, where we talk about more well-rounded things, and things that, you know, will make you a more well-rounded person. Until next time, which will be Thursday. Take care and be good people. I'll see you later. Bye.